Oh, how can I forget Juozas? I remember him not in Lithuanian forests, because I was not there anymore, but at a time when he came to Paris, when he was sent to accomplish a certain mission, to try to tell to the world about what Lithuania is, how Lithuania is suffering, and that there is an armed resistance against the Soviet occupation. He was supposed to meet with the Lithuanian Supreme Committee for Liberation of Lithuania, which was in exile now, which he met, and through them he could reach some official persons from the United States government and tell them what is happening in Lithuania. One of these persons was Congressman Charles Kirsten of Milwaukee. My personal relationship with Juozas at that time was when I became sick with pulmonary tuberculosis and spent almost 2 years in the hospital and in the sanatorium. At that time, I knew mostly Juozas through his letters written to me, and which later on they were published in a book which was called Letters to the Beloved. Those letters were directed to Lithuania and me. And this was an idea of Gabrielius Žemkalnis, who died recently in Australia and is the brother of Professor Vytautas Landsbergis. Juozas in his letters did not talk about 1941 occupation, because at that time he was imprisoned by the Soviets, and he, before that, he studied architecture, I believe in Kaunas Vytautas University. So he only later he talked about it, but personally he was not involved in 1941. However, as a student, he when it was discovered that there is a movement against the Soviets, he was imprisoned right at the end of their occupation, and he finally was released when the German occupation arrived to Lithuania. He continued to study, and at that time it was the beginning of the organization of the resistance in general against the Nazis in the beginning, and later against the Soviets when they occupied Lithuania for the second time. When I heard about the memorial, I was extremely glad, really excited about it, because I never thought that anybody will remember what it meant to resist against the Soviets, how the organization began and how it developed and became a huge organization which spread throughout Lithuania. There are 70 years which passed since then until now. And we had a 50-year occupation by the Soviets, plenty of time for another generation, maybe another generation and a half, to grow up and to, in a completely different surrounding and fed with the Soviet type of life and lies, and so that it was a big danger that during those times most of the younger people who were born under Soviets will never know, the schools never taught them the history about the partisans, and they will grow up without knowing it. My joy is that not everybody grew up in this type of spirit. There are really real patriots who understood what it meant to resist against the Soviets. They were interested in it, they read whatever literature was about that, because slowly the literature, books were written, and commemorations during the Lithuanian at the Lithuanian organizations abroad were held, were made, and it is really wonderful that they are not forgotten, and that somebody thought to build a monument for those 20,000 partisans who perished. I hope I will be capable to really organize, especially among the Lithuanians abroad, the possibility of not a fund really, but to organize something, to write about it, and to personally approach friends and acquaintances who could participate to help the memorial. They are much more aware, I hope I'm right, than the Lithuanians in Lithuania, except those who really understood it and kept in their memory. They are very, very knowledgeable about what happened. I hope that there is somebody, whoever did not do it, will think about doing it.